Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters Club. Once again, we're ready to go. I am Sally Reyes, your assistant to the Sergeant at Arms. And would you please take out your phone and set it to silent so no one will be disturbed. Thank you so much, and please help me welcome our President, innovative creator, distinguished Toastmaster, and general intuitive, guardian angel, ineffable, Cynthia. Stop, take it away.
Thank you, Sally, for that amazing introduction. I appreciate that. And welcome, welcome. So excited that we're going to be having another meeting of Leaders Worldwide. It's so exciting. We've got a great keynote presenter and we have a DTM showdown. I'm a part of it. So exciting. And I want to welcome all our guests and our members. And first I want to read the Toastmasters mission statement and values, and then our club mission statement and our motto. Toastmasters International, we empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. Our club mission is we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. And our Toastmaster International values are integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And the reason, well, Leaders Worldwide was designed for politicians, business and nonprofit leaders, entrepreneurs, and others who want to make their message heartfelt, authentic, and ready for the worldwide stage. So if you want exposure to the world, you've come to the right place. We've got so many countries represented right now. And I want to introduce and welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Victor Jenkins, and he's going to welcome our guests. Take it away, Victor.
Victor, you're muted.
I told you not to say anything. Welcome to the Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters. I'm your humble Toastmaster tonight, and we're going to get into our meeting here in just a few moments. But first, we want to welcome the guests to Toastmasters International, don't we? Well, as it turns out, it seems like everybody here is a guest. Now, let's see. Alexis Bennett. Hi.
Hi.
Alexis, how did you hear about us?
There's Cynthia Stott.
Cynthia Stott. I guess I should have known that. Everybody knows Cynthia Scott. Well, thank you for coming, and we are pleased to have you. Hope you come back and join us again. Which club are you from?
Toast of Richmond.
Tell me just a little bit about your club. How long you been a Toastmaster?
For over 30 years.
Excuse me. Moving right along to our next guest. Kamal, you are our guest here tonight at the Leaders Worldwide Toastmasters, that's right?
Yes.
And how did you find out about this club?
Cynthia, she is one of my friends. I met with her in the clubhouse.
In the interest of time, why don't we do this? Do I have any guests that Cynthia didn't invite here? Because if you are here, please raise your hand and tell me who invited you here. Anybody here that didn't get invited by Cynthia? Anybody? Nobody? Okay,
I actually wasn't invited by Cynthia.
Why, hi, Judith. How did you get here?
I think I saw this a long time ago. I saw an ad about Leaders Worldwide. And that's actually how, I forgot the name of the person who is not here, anyway, so I am one of those. but I am glad to be here, and maybe Cynthia is the chocolate person. I also always come back for this.
She's the drive. What we're gonna do is give it, and once again, in the interest of time, because as the MC, I got to keep things moving along. They only give me a whole minute to do that. So let's everyone give Cynthia a start, a round of applause. Thank you, Cynthia. I'm inviting everybody to the meeting.
Thank you.
And now we move into the meeting, the meat and potatoes of the meeting. Our theme tonight is music around the world. And the disappointing thing is I'm not going to put on my tutu and dance to Macarena. So anybody who was looking forward to that, we're going to take that off the schedule. We should have a copy of the agenda in our chat for those of you who want to follow the meeting along. The agenda is our guideline, kind of tells us what's going to happen next, what should have happened, what shouldn't happen, but it's not engraved in stone. Many people like to keep the agenda because it helps them remember things about the meeting, like who the Toastmaster was. Because see, whoever the Toastmaster is, they get to pretty much manage the whole meeting and put their footprint on the meeting and make sure that the things that ought to be done in the meeting actually get done in the meeting. Now, Cynthia has done her part by welcoming everybody to the meeting. And the next thing on the agenda, if you're looking at it, is for me to introduce the general evaluator. Now, the general evaluator got a few things to say, and we're going to give them some time to do that. But for the moment, help me welcome the general evaluator, and none other than Carolyn J. Douglas.
Good evening, everyone. Evening here in the San Francisco Bay Area. My role as the general evaluator is to facilitate the evaluation portion of the meeting. In that regard, I will share with you how well we have performed in the presentation of the meeting of the day. To help with that, I have functionaries that will be a part of that evaluation. The first one that I would love for you to be aware of is our grammarian, and I would like to call on Sally Reyes as the grammarian and word of the day counter to share with us what the grammarian's role is. Sally.
Thank you so much. My role is to keep you on track of your speech and leave out ifs, ands, buts, maybes, and things that do not work. I do appreciate innovative use of words, and sometimes I can catch them and praise you for them. And I would like to say our word of the day is harmony. And that would be a pleasant arrangement of parts or accord. And I think that's enough, and I'll see you at the end to see what we've done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Another functionary that we have in the meeting today is our timer. And I would like to call on our timer, Victor, to explain the role of the timer. Just the role, please.
You want me to explain the timer role? I tell you what, I'm going to advocate that and give it that to Mrs. Kathleen Peel. Kathleen, tell us about the timer.
The timer is offers a very important service. It keeps the guardrails up so that we can move smoothly and safely through the meeting. So our keynote speech is up to 15 minutes. And so, Samarp, PS, I'm going to use these old-fashioned cards, and that is at 13 minutes, which is only 2 minutes before 15, I'll hold up the green card. 1 minute later, the yellow card. After that, at 15 minutes, the red card. Then we have 5 minutes of question and answer before the 5-minute break. Then we have 2 5 to 7 minute speeches, prepared speeches, and they are 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and 7 minutes. For evaluations, that's 2 to 3 minutes. So that's 2, 2.5, and then 3 comes the red. Table topics is 1 to 2 minutes. So that is 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and 2 minutes. Easy breezy. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
My turn already? Okay. The timer is so important because as we know, there are some people who will not shut up if it weren't for the timer. They'll just talk and talk and talk, not making any sense at all, not having any purpose for what they're saying. They just go on and on and on. And without the timer, you would be subjected to those type of people. I call it diarrhea of the mouth, but that's not really nice in mixed company. The next thing that we are going to do is I'm going to make an announcement because these people, the timer, the grammarian, they're all part of the team of people that help a Toastmaster meeting work. Everybody has their part. Everybody has to contribute. And, you know, the quarterback can throw the ball, but he can't catch the ball. It just so happens that even though the agenda says that the Table Topics Master is going to be one person, well, before I commandeer the Table Topic position for myself, I'm going to offer that role to someone else in the audience who want to be the Table Topic Master. And believe me, you're truly going to be a Table Topics Master because you didn't know you were going to do that function today. Anybody want to speak up and take on a Table Topics role, Table Topics Master role? Or do you want me to do it? So it's up to you. Okay, so I'm taking over the Table Topics role, the Table Topic Master's role as well, unless somebody comes up before that and says they want to do it. But now we are going to introduce our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker, Samarp PS, is a multi-instrumentalist, English singer-songwriter, performer, rapper, dancer, producer, sketch artist, and an engineer hailing from Punjab, India. His influences are Michael Jackson, Linkin Park, Eminem, Coldplay, 21 Pilots, Kelly Hozier. His music shares the vibes of rap, pop, reggae, and soul. He has been nurturing the musician inside by performing kirtan/spiritual prayers in Gurudwaras/temples with Western instruments, inviting unheard culture of divine music in the new era. To support himself and his music career, he worked with Amazon and simultaneously performed in several gigs. For the past 2.5 years, he's working as a full-time musician and releasing his first EP on all major music streaming platforms soon. And in 2021, there's more surprises coming along. Now, Mr. Keynote speaker, be sure and pin the timer. And in about 3 seconds, the next voice you hear is going to be none other than our keynote presenter tonight, Samarp PS. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Okay, well, that was the most of the thing in the intro. And thank you so much for letting me do this. Big props to Cynthia. Thank you so much. As said, that I'm an English singer-songwriter, which is the least expected when you hail out of India. And to do this, Amazon actually oiled so many locks for me. And because of Amazon, I was able to put up a small studio for myself so that I'd be able to record, which was really difficult for me when I didn't have the studio. But now in the time, as I'm trying to record and trying to put all these songs out, which are written on real-time experiences. And speaking of recording these songs, I would like to talk about the album and the EP which I was working on. So we're gonna go step by step, and I'm gonna take you all the way back to the story where it begins. Right now, where I am is Hyderabad city, down South India. And why I started this job of a musician, singer-songwriter, because I was always into music, dancing. It was kind of my passion, which I took seriously back in 2006 and requested my father if that'd be okay to do as a professional job. And I really wanted to start real early in 2010. He disagreed to that. And unfortunately, just like everybody who's doing engineering in starting 2011, my father suggested you should be doing engineering. And then I went to this engineering college and I failed terribly. And I failed in 16 subjects back to back. And somehow I was able to finish my engineering. But I was connected to music and I was performing in spiritual temples, playing Indian instruments like tabla, harmonica, doing the Indian prayers. While doing so, I realized that music is something which keeps you up, and it gives you a different peace of mind which you cannot attain by any chance living in this crazy world. But I did not pay much attention to it because there were certain responsibilities at my house which I was supposed to make and fulfill and serve. So that's why I picked up a job at Amazon. Luckily, I got a good job and it was paying me really well, but it was not enough. And I realized that how much work I'm doing sitting on a table in my office and looking at the laptop. I can do this work on music and put up something good. The feeling and emotion, which all I feel. I'm an emotional guy. I would like to mention that. That's why I thought of writing this song. Looking at the lives of Michael Jackson, Eminem, all these guys, how they write songs and how they come up with the music they produce and the change they take inside of them and get that into the world and change the world in a way. I feel it coming, but I wasn't serious about it. And it was 2017 when I was still stuck in my Amazon job, but I was still doing gigs and failing terribly at them. And in 2019, April, I found a gig where people requested if you have written something original, you'd be able to perform. I really appreciated that because in India, if you're singing English, and especially your written music, nobody will appreciate it. They just want to dance on some Bollywood songs and that's all. They don't want to listen to your original music. And so I was kind of disheartened and I felt that it's not a good thing to quit Amazon and do music. But after that gig, when my music was appreciated, I thought that it's a good thing and you can kind of pursue music if you quit Amazon. And I quit Amazon in 2019 July. After doing so, I got gigs and it was going really well. And then pandemic happened in 2020. And on that, I found a really good partner in my life and she supported me throughout the pandemic. And I somehow managed to complete my songs for my EP and trying to produce them. I'm still in a phase of finishing all the songs and get all them mastered. That's the final touch you give to the album or your work when you're a musician. And my father, which I was asked to share a bit of experience with my father did not have a clue what am I doing with my life. Back in 2018, he thought that I'd be doing a master's in business, but I didn't go for that because I realized that I'm not going to study anymore because I'm going to fail terribly. So I picked up music. I kind of studied music theory and I learned stuff. I learned guitar in 2017 while working in Amazon. And I wanted to ask my dear friend if I do have time because I started at 7:47 and 7:53 now.
How much time is left on the clock?
We have about 12 minutes or 11 minutes.
Okay, copy that. Okay, so that was kind of a journey from a perspective of a musician. And I was speaking about my father, who is not so supportive when it comes to music. And well, of course, everybody face some trouble when they try to do something they want to do, and that's unusual. And he told me that nobody is there a musician. Nobody is a musician in our house. Nobody played any instrument. And you won't be able to do anything. You are a zero. You failed your engineering. You won't be able to do anything. Live a normal life, find a job again, and do what I say. Otherwise, I'm gonna make you sit in my shop and do the normal business, which I do not agree. And that's where the clash happened. And I felt that, do I have to live a life where I have to take every decision on my own? And do I have to find a way of my own doing every single thing? And I asked this question to myself and I got scared. And I thought that I think I'm living my life terribly wrong. Everything is wrong. Nothing is going right. Nobody's supporting me. And I think if I'm stepping towards my goal incorrectly and it's a wrong path, then people behind me who are actually who are expecting me to be somebody responsible, taking care of a family, put food on the table, I think I'm not that guy. And that was really hard. And there comes a point when life teaches you that you have to take decision and then you have to fail, and it's okay to fail. And when you fail, talk to yourself and ask you if you'd be able to do things on your own. Then you have to get to point zero, ground zero, and do everything from the ground level. And I tried writing songs which sounded so bad. Then I worked on the songs, and somehow now they sound okayish. And I'm really grateful for the people who helped me throughout this journey to get me through and help me for my every single meals, because there were days when I was relying on money, which I would get from Clubhouse, performing every day and night. I was on Clubhouse for 18 hours, 20 hours, singing all day long and expecting some tips. And well, I really wanted to thank everybody from Clubhouse. Cynthia, thank you so much for doing this. You're amazing. And but with that, what I left was my journey when it comes to my father. And my father was, he's still up there looking at me and telling me you're doing things wrong, but that's okay. I kind of know that I'd be able to do things and live a life and make money out of music if you keep trying. Well, coming to music, now the industry in India, they are not so well, they do not accept a musician who writes his own songs and put up the album, and they will be rejecting you every time if you do not fit in. And you really need to come up with a lyric which really fits in for the people to dance. They don't want to listen to something you've written for some real-time experience. But I feel that's the change that world needs, and it's coming. It's coming on its way. It's actually on its way, and it's going to come real soon. Because when I look into the life of people like, again, Michael Jackson, Chris Martin, Eminem, they don't do the songs for people to dance. They just write it because somebody somewhere in the world needs it, and they really look up to them because they are in a hope that life's going to be better if they take that risk. And it's really important to take that risk because that's where the love come from, and they'll be able to trust in their own process if they will see people winning by following some unusual step, some unusual path which nobody took. And
4.5 minutes.
It goes really well. Okay. And well, yeah, I think I would wrap up with that.
I want to hear your song. We want to hear your song.
I'll do a song real quick, and I wanted to give a quick intro. Why did I write that song? For one of my friends, she's from Reading, England. She's raising 3 kids on her own, and nobody should see a life that she just did. And I'm so glad she made it so well out of it. And now she's really strong, a strong woman. But back in the days in 2019, she was the one who helped me with this British accent. She asked me one question every day saying, did I do it wrong? And she asked me that question for like 2 or 3 months. And that's why I came up with this song, because I really need to do something with this emotion. When an emotion that is there in my head is really messed up, and there it's down in the paper, I feel good. And that's why I came up with this song. This is called Did I Do It Wrong? Oh, Lord. She just wanna keep running. No, she doesn't wanna stop. Her loneliness is already numbing. Sometimes she listens in a Linkin Park. She's a little bit extra responsible, sharing a sorrow almost impossible. Is that cold, they stone and all alone, counting a blessing, come and go, keep stressing all alone. Over the night, over the night, yeah. Over the night, she keeps resting. Over the night, oh. Did I do it wrong? Did I do it wrong? No, she didn't do it wrong. No, she didn't do it wrong. Then why is she running all alone? 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 She just wanna keep listening. No, she'll never run away. If you lose something you can't replace, she'll play some Coldplay. Oh, nah, she's a little bit extra responsible, sharing a sorrow almost impossible. It's that cool, this stone and all alone, counting the blessing, come and go, keep stressing all alone. Over the night, over the night, over the night, she keeps stressing. Over the night, ooh, did I do it wrong? Did I do it wrong? No, no, she didn't do it wrong. No, no, she didn't do it wrong. No. Why is she running all alone? 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 Watching so many people come and go. There's no peace and love. Maybe that's why she's running all alone. That's why she's running all alone. That's why she's running all alone. Thank you so much for having a listen to that one. That was Did I Do It Wrong, coming real soon in all music streaming platforms, and you guys are incredibly amazing. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much. We're going to move into the next segment of our meeting now by having our esteemed president, Cynthia Stott. She's going to moderate the Q&A portion because what you said has got some people chomping at the bits to ask some questions. So let's give a round of applause for Cynthia Stott to handle Q&A. Let's answer Cynthia.
Woo-hoo! That was amazing. Another big round of applause for Samarp. Woohoo!
Thank you.
Woo! That was fantastic. And if you have questions or comments, please put them in the chat and then I'll read them out. Samar, this has been amazing. And ever since I heard you in Clubhouse, I just had to have you at Leaders Worldwide, and I heard just a snippet of your story. So I'm glad that you shared it with us, your story of being not believed in, but still going forward to pursue your dream. And now I think you just launched your album on streaming networks. Is that right?
I was supposed to launch it, and that's what we talked about. And it was supposed to release in December, but there was some thing going on around in home, so I had to travel so many times back and forth from down south to north, and I traveled twice a week, 16,000 kilometers one side. My EP album got delayed for towards the end of this year, but I'm trying real hard to release it by the end of this year, and I hopefully I'll be able to do that.
Great. And how can we find out when it gets released? How can we follow you?
Well, I do have my website, samarps.com, samarps.com, and all of my updates, because after releasing this music, there are going to be updates in my website. You will find direct links to Clubhouse, direct links to SoundCloud, direct links to Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and everything is going to be there on my website. Also, I'm going to be posting about it on my Instagram. I'm going to tweet about it on my Twitter, and everywhere possible. Yeah, that would be the way to promote my EP and album.
Great. We're going to have you put your website in the chat, and then I'm going to read from the chat and see what we got, comments and questions coming in. Okay. Well, our guest, Ray Don Potier, he said he can't wait to hear this song. So he was chafing at the bit to hear it. And then our guest, Rabia Zishan, said that was so amazing. And Kathleen Pill, our beautiful timer, said, so very beautiful, haunting. After you decided you will not follow the standard path, do you have to use discipline? How do you build your art?
Well, that's a really good question. And trust me, you have to fail. You have to keep failing, fail beautifully. And after that failure, this is what we do, and that's really usual. We beat ourselves and our thoughts, and we keep telling ourselves it's not possible, it's not possible. But there will be another day, and I wake up now that I'll just go see the sun, and I know that nobody's going to do anything for me, and I have to start from the scratch and do it again. Otherwise, tomorrow with a new sunlight, I will curse myself that I didn't do it today. So I have to go back and use that kind of discipline. Forget discipline, forget confidence. Life's going to teach you everything. Just keep going. You will know what discipline is. You will know what confidence is. Just keep going. And that's how I did it. I did not do anything big right now, but it's a small thing inside of myself is going to lead me to somewhere I know because I believe in it. And I will be able to do it. Yeah. So that's what I use. I keep failing, and from my failure, I keep learning. Thank you.
I love that. Fail forward. Keep going. You can only win by failing. That's very, very
That's
true.
right.
And Rabia also says, what powerful lyrics, very motivating. And Dr. Michelle Petacola says, very inspiring and haunting song. And Kathleen Pill says, what a powerful heart you have. You inspire me. And Jaya says, I am learning a musical instrument these days, and listening to your journey added to my motivation. I'm glad you followed what you loved, breaking the barriers. Ah, so true, so true. Breaking the barriers. Love it. And then our guest Kamal said, you have a soothing voice that makes me feel so much peace. And Kathleen agrees with Kamal. Okay. And how are we doing on time?
Oh, we are at time.
You're at time. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Samar. You have been amazing. You have such a beautiful, haunting voice, and you have a real gift that needs to be shared with the world. And I am so glad that you were inspired by failure and you keep going. And I see big things for you. And being an original artist is big. And I know that America's Got Talent and some of the other places really give you extra credit for doing originals. So maybe we'll see you on the screen there. America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent, Voice, all of those. Would love to see you there.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you so much for letting me do this.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Samar.
Now,
And back to you.
Back to me, the Toastmaster.
Yes.
Ladies and
Mr.
gentlemen,
Toastmaster.
you've been here for a few minutes, so we are going to give you a treat right now. A really exciting treat, and I hope you are all ready for it. We're going to give you a 5-minute break where we're going to stop the recording, and you could do whatever you feel like for 5 minutes. Please join us back here at 6:41 for more fun and frolic. Give yourself a round of applause as you leave. Thank you very much for being here so far. Stop the recording, timer, start the clock, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the rest of our Toastmasters meeting here at Leaders Worldwide. I am Victor Irving Jenkins, your Toastmaster of the day, or the MC. Both of them will do the same thing. We have two more portions of our meeting. Well, actually, we have three more portions of our meeting. We have the evaluative portion, we have the prepared speeches portion, and we have the table topics portion. And if you are looking at the agenda, and if you're not looking at the agenda, the next item on the agenda is for the timer to be introduced. And I'm going to introduce now to the timer, and the timer is going to give us the timing card requirements for our first prepared speech. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our timer, Kathleen and Mrs. Peel.
And that is green at 5, yellow at 6, and red at 7.
Thank you so much. And the point of these colors is for you to qualify as a Toastmaster. See, Toastmasters don't just give speeches just for the fun of it. We have certain constraints. And if you are able to give your speech in the required constraints, then you get a gold star and you can walk around with your chest out saying, I gave a speech. I always like to do that myself, just in case you didn't. However, also in Toastmasters, you get your speech evaluated so that you will know whether you achieved the goal that you had or the goal that Toastmasters set for you when they outlined the speech. So will the first evaluator please give us the project and the other credentials for speaker number 1? And that's going to be an honored guest. I believe it's Varsha Sharma. Let's give it up for Varsha Sharma.
You know, oh, I see, pardon me. I think that Ms. Varsha Sharma has not responded to my requests. Do we have someone who would like to pop right in to be an evaluator? I could give the project for Ms. Jaya Jagi.
Anyone?
That's the
No
second
one?
speaker. Evaluator for the first speaker you want.
Oh, that would be for Ms. Cynthia Stott.
Yes.
And I don't know what your project is.
It is the Visionary Communication Project level 3. 3. Do you have it, Victor?
Yes, 5 to 7 minutes, yes.
Yeah, and it's descriptive language.
Right.
So do we have an evaluator for me? I thought we had our evaluator here.
I can evaluate you.
Oh, great.
Thank you,
awesome.
Judith.
And I will
Thank
send
you,
you the evaluation form in chat. Let me get that real quick. Sorry about this. I thought we were all set, but I guess we weren't.
No need to be sorry. This is Toastmasters. This is how we roll. Just like she stepped up, somebody always steps up because we're all addicted to applause.
That's exactly right, Victor.
Where? Oh, it's Victor. Let me send it to Victor.
It's always me, dear. Just remember that.
Yes.
Always me.
Always you.
Yeah.
Great. Is this Zoom registration? Oh, wait a second. Victor. It's another Victor.
Are you looking for the evaluation form?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, because I can find it too.
Copy descriptive language. Here it is, and I'll just put it in the main chat.
Okay, good.
I like that. She says I can find it too. Looks like we got a Toastmaster in our midst. That's what we got here. Another Toastmaster. Okay, DTM Cynthia Stott. Oh, we already got the timing constraints. Good. DTM Cynthia Stott is an executive speech.
We have to have the. Was the evaluator going to give the project to?
I thought you just gave it.
Okay. Sorry. Are we all set?
We will be. DTM
Okay.
Cynthia Stott is an executive speech and confidence coach for executives or those who want to be. She guides them to create presentations suitable for boards of directors, which enables clients to speak up in meetings with confidence. An important part of your image as an executive is your PBS. So as Cynthia Stott asked the questions, what is your PBS? Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Cynthia Stott.
Thank you, Victor. Awesome. Well, what is PBS? Is it the public broadcasting system? No, it's the personal branding statement. So personal branding is basically who you are in the world, letting people know who you are so you can have the impact that you are meant to make. And I believe that a personal branding statement tells what three things. It has integrity, authenticity, and excellence. First, integrity has to do with your core values. What are your core values? Is integrity your core value? Is it like Toastmasters International, which is integrity, respect, excellence, and service? What are your core values? And if you've ever listened to Simon Sinek's amazing TED Talk, I think it's the most widely listened to or watched on YouTube TED Talk with Simon Sinek called Start with Your Why. And he talks about your statements. I believe. What do you believe? I'm committed to. What are you committed to? And what's most important to me is, can you complete that sentence? So I'm going to have you just answer in the chat. What do you believe? What do you stand for? What are you committed to? And what is most important to you? We're going to read them out in just a few minutes. So go ahead and enter your statements for you believe, what you stand for, what you're committed to, and what is most important to you. I'll just give you a second to do that. So the first one is integrity, and it's so important that we know what we stand for and what people know what we stand for. And our second one is authenticity. And this is about aligning what's inside with what's outside and remembering what is true beauty. What true beauty is the inside beauty coming out. And I want to share with you one of my stories about how I found out about my own true beauty. We got some coming in. We're going to let them keep coming in, and then we're going to answer them in just a minute. So I took some kite surfing lessons. Now, I don't know if you know what that is. You stand on a surfboard, and then you hold this kite that's 16 feet across. It's huge, it's powerful, and it was scary and harrowing. And at the end of my kite surfing ride, I was so grateful to be back on dry land. I almost kissed the ground. And I had blonde dreadlocks. I looked like a tsunami hit me, and I looked like something the cat dragged in, but I was hungry. And so I wanted to go to my favorite sushi restaurant. And I went there, and I came up to the sushi bar, and I talked to the sushi chef who I've known for 30 years, and I told him my harrowing experience and how I had overcome. And then I felt some eyes looking at me. And I looked over, and there was only one table in the room. It was early in the evening, and there were 6 guys at it. And by the googly eyes that they were looking at me with, I never looked more beautiful in my life. That's true beauty. That's from coming from the inside out. So let me read just a couple of your comments in the chat. And Carolyn Douglas says Rosemary Sweeney's, we need another speech value. Oh, Okay. Kathleen Pill, Rabia. Oh, here we go. Okay. I'm reading all of these back and forth. Okay. Carolyn Douglas says, I stand for creativity, the use of imagination, bringing forth what you see as a possibility. Oh, I love that. And Kathleen Hill says, living authentically and helping others to live authentically. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. I love that. And keep them coming. If you have more I believe statements, we'd love to hear them. And shortly after I watched Simon Sinek's TED Talk, I saw that Cheerios, the cereal, the breakfast cereal, has on their box top, we believe. So they know the importance of branding themselves. Great. So integrity is number one, authenticity was number two, and number three is excellence. Excellence. So what are your skills? What are your skills and your credibility? What do you do in the world? And most of my clients are experts. They are experts that could wallpaper their wall with their certifications and trainings. But it's important to share what you do in a way that people can understand it. I believe that communication is like playing catch. If you're playing catch with your nephew that's 8 years old, you want to throw that ball so that he can catch it and throw it back to you. Even if you are a fastball pitcher professional that can pitch 90 miles an hour, you don't want to throw that at your nephew, or you won't want to throw it in a way that he can't catch it. You want to toss it so he does catch it, and then he can toss it back to you. So that's what's really important about knowing as an expert, where you can share your information in a way that's authentic and that your people can hear you and understand you and know that you are for them, and they can catch that ball and throw it back to you. So what is your personal branding statement? How can you bring out your integrity and your authenticity and your excellence? Share with the world who you really are from the inside out, and your expertise that you're meant to share with the world. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Let's give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Cynthia Stott. Madame Timer, please get us 1 minute on the clock. For those of you who have a mind to, and probably we all have a mind to, send a private chat message to Cynthia Stott, telling her something that you got from her talk or something you want her to know. But as long as it is something that's going to encourage, we invite you to do it. Take 1 minute and let me know when the minute is up, Mrs. Peel.
That's our minute.
Thank you ever so much. As is often the case in Toastmasters, we have to make another adjustment. Our second evaluator is not available, and I believe Rabia has consented to evaluate speaker number 2. Rabia, if that's you, let me hear your voice.
Just a second. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. Please give me the project and time.
I'm
Timing
asking for
constraint for the
it.
speaker
I
number 2.
do not have the evaluation.
I'm getting you your evaluation form. I'll send it to you in the chat. That's the easiest way. And
Okay.
the project is the purpose of the project is to use descriptive language and no, that's inspire your audience. So the purpose is to inspire your audience. I'll get you the
Let's
form.
speak. Okay.
And we have
So-
a 5 to 7 minute speech.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
5 to 7.
Rabia, you wanted to say something?
No, that's it. I think we should give the stage to a speaker, Jaya Jack.
Okay, great. DTM Jaya Jaggi is serving as president of Cloud 122 Toastmasters and a member of the Division Council. She recently received her DTM award, kudos to that, being the youngest DTM and only the 3rd female DTM in Pakistan. Now, her path and project were just given to us by Mrs. Peel, and she is going to be introduced by me to give her talk, which is entitled A Smile. Jaya Jaggi, A Smile. Let's give her a round of applause.
I live in a city known as Rawalpindi, a city where whenever I used to go to the market, a small market near my house, I used to see little kids sitting. You must be wondering what those kids would be doing there. They used to sell some small chocolates and just some chargers. One day I noticed that, oh, whenever I visit this site, they're always sitting over here. Why so? Don't they go back home? And these are very small. I was 20 at that time, and they would probably be 7, 8 years old. I was going to that market on a regular basis and used to see those little kids selling those candies, those chargers on a regular basis too. When one day I happened to talk to those kids in curiosity, "Hi, little babies, why are you sitting over here?" They, "Because we are selling these." "Oh, why don't you have a house? Don't you have your parents? Where are they?" Because I, at that moment, did not know that there are a lot of people in this world who do not have a shelter. I was not aware of the time that there are a lot of people who do not have financial resources. At that time, I was not aware that a lot of children who don't have parents. That day, I came back home with a sad face and said to my mom, Mama, I want to adopt those kids." My mom laughed and she said, "Jaya, you have to be adopted by someone. You cannot adopt because you are still a child. How can you think of adopting another kid?" I told her, "Mom, I am grown up and I can definitely take care of them. And also, you are here. We will have them together." But yes, it might be possible for me in my mind, but it was not possible for the people around. They found it absurd and something unusual. I kept on thinking, when I will be growing up, when I will be a lady like my mother, I would be definitely adopting those kids. But how could I wait for such a long period? And how could I actually expect that I will be able to adopt those at that particular time? And one important thing, who knows that I would be alive till then? How can I wait for that time? So one day I was sitting with a friend of mine and I told him, "Hey, I want to build a shelter for these kids where they can at least get some education." Because once when I was talking to the kid, they told me that they don't go to school. And I could not even imagine a life without even going to school. So the journey of our smile started because I wanted to put a smile on their faces and definitely on my face too when I looked at their smiling faces. So I told my friend that I want to start a shelter house where they could live and learn something and get some education. And I wanted to give its name a smile because for me, it would cause a smile on their faces. Trust me, the journey was not easy. It was a plan in my mind that I want to start such a shelter. I want to build such a building, but sound impossible. I did not have financial resources. I did not have human resources. I was still studying. I was not earning. How could I? I thought I have to make it possible. Number one, I started looking for some part-time jobs because I wanted to raise money and to earn money for that particular project, because I thought it would be too hard for me to fundraise for it. I need money to pay the rent. While I was working as a part-time teacher in a school after my college ended, I raised a good amount of money, but realized, oh, it's not enough. I need help from some influentials, where I tried to fundraise from my friends, from my family, from influentials and the people who were financially stable. And with an effort of 6 months, I was able to raise 6 million rupees. For me, it was huge. I was not sure that I will ever be able to do that. I really wanted to show you the pictures where I was standing on streets and on roads on a traffic signal, carrying that placard saying people, oh, donate for my orphanage, donate my shelter home. For me, the one who had never stepped out that way, it was a bit embarrassing maybe, but a bit adventurous and inspirational, because that was supposed to add to the cause. The day I got the first brick of my shelter house, which I gave a name, a smile, was the day I felt that the reason of me being on this planet is fulfilled. But yes, the journey does not stop over here. It's not something that the house is built, children are living over there. No. I never want a place where they feel that, oh, this is a hostel. This is a place where they don't have parents. I want them to feel a home, a feeling that where they have family. It's not just a shelter, it's a family. I remember the day when one of the kids came to me and said, when I was sitting around the bank and was selling it, I never thought I will ever be having such a life. That really made me feel, wow, I never knew that such an effort of mine will add value to someone's life. I know we all are busy. I know we all have a lot of things to do. Some of us must be struggling mentally. Some of us must be struggling financially. But sometimes we have a small piece that can fill someone else's vacant life piece. So when are you giving your small piece of life to someone else's life? Over to you.
Thank you very much. Let's give her a round of applause. Madam Timer, please take 60 seconds off the clock, mark it off, and let's give some time for us to send a note over to our speaker. Tell her how wonderful she was, or how she touched, moved, or inspired you. 1 minute.
There's our minute.
Okay, we are now moving into the table topics portion of the meeting, the impromptu speaking portion of the meeting. Everyone here is an experienced Toastmaster, so we're going to forego the laborious explanation for table topics. But what we will remind you is that if you don't like the question that I asked you, you don't have to respond to the question I asked you. The goal is to give a 2-minute talk that's at the very least entertaining, and it makes sense. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. However, as the table topics participation, it does have to adhere to timing constraints. Will the timer please tell us about the timing constraints for a table topics participation? And anybody get ready, because I can call on anybody.
So you just have 1 to 2 minutes for a short, sweet free-for-all, and it's 1 minute 1.5 minutes, and 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madame Tama. And to add the other component to thinking on your feet, you have to be thinking about what you're saying, and you have to utter the word of the day. If you don't utter the word of the day in your table topics participation, well then.
And remember,
Our
Victor,
first,
we do have brand new guests, their very first Toastmasters meeting, including our guest speaker and Kamal, and there may be some others. So we do have some people brand new to Toastmasters. So make sure they have all the information they need so that we can hear from them.
oh wow, they're Toastmasters, are they?
No, their very first meeting of Toastmasters.
Okay, in
Very first.
Toastmasters,
They're
in
virgins.
Toastmasters, we have a component known as table topics. And what table topic does is it builds your skill to be creative, so that when someone asks you a question, if you don't know the answer, you'll be so creative, you will say something to them that'll make them forget what the question even was, because you are so engaging. Most of the talks that you have in your life are impromptu, because you don't know who's going to say what when they say them to you, and you always want to appear confident, you want to appear poised, and table topics is where you have the opportunity to do that. And to show you someone who has the poise and the wherewithal to do that, we're going to start with a veteran table topics master to begin with. Because see, the person I'm going to call on, they don't know I'm going to call on them, and they don't know what the question is. All they know is that the theme of the meeting is music around the world, and the word of the day is grammarian. Grammarian.
It's harmony. Harmony.
Okay, the word of the day is harmony. So I'm going to ask the question, and everybody will be on the edge of their seat because they don't know who's going to answer the question, and then I'm going to call on somebody. So the question is, attack or defend the practice of high school students knowing their school song. Is it a big deal for a student to know their school song? Why or why not? And let's hear from the grammarian herself, Sally Reyes.
Their school song? Well, I guess to have a school song unifies the point and the power of the kids to unify and accomplish goals, gatherings of groups. It pulls them together. So I gather that it would be more advantageous to practice the song or put it in a joke so that the kids could know the important parts of the song and they could have fun with it, just as we have fun in Toastmasters, helping each other and guiding through the directions that unify us. So as in Toastmasters, I want a group of kids to enjoy their school, their camaraderie, and learn the song that unifies their group and their efforts and their future. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Okay. Samarp, it is your turn. So you get to know that you're going to do it before I even ask the question. And that's only because you're new. But here's the question. You have a choice, and don't forget to use the word of the day. You have a choice between being backed up by a live band singing on the Caribbean or being the lead vocalist in a church recording an album. Which of those two things you're going to do, and why are you going to pick that if those are your two choices? Don't forget to use the word of the day. Come on, let's hear it.
Actually, my listening skill is not so good. You were speaking so fast, so that's why I couldn't understand properly. Actually, you were giving me two options or something like that.
I'm giving you two options. One, you can sing with being backed by a live band on a Caribbean cruise, or you could be the lead singer in a church choir as they record an album.
Okay, the second one is better for me because I don't know about Caribbean something like that. But sometimes I sing, but I'm not any kind of professional or something like that. I'm just singing like when I'm alone. That time I used to sing, but online sometimes I sing with my friends. As nowadays, actually after the pandemic, I mean during the pandemic time, I'm become too much in online. So day by day, I really like to listen the English songs, and really it makes me very happy because that time actually whole country in our country the situation was little bit abnormal, like all the time I needed to stay in the room. So that time I learned some new songs, and I can sing a song. Actually I like to sing a sad song, I don't know why, but I like to listen and sing normally sad songs. So I can sing a sad song. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I do believe we have another first-time visitor. What's that person's name?
Well, that was Summer, our main speaker, but he had to leave because he's going
Okay,
to
well,
go
he-
record some more music.
Okay, Huang, can we see your camera? Huang, are you there? Huang,
I think she's a first-time visitor too. Dr. Huang, are you there?
okay.
I'm
Dr.
here.
Huang, I happen to
Hello.
know that you have your students that you teach, that you have them singing songs to help them learn English. I know that, right? What you're going to do today is you're going to take 1 to 2 minutes using the word of the day, and you're going to sing one of those songs for us that your pupils sing that I saw in the video. So take it away, Huang.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to talk. Yeah. So my name is Hương. I'm from Vietnam. Yes, I'm a teacher, lecturer in a government university with more than 10,000 students from different countries and different cultures. I have been teaching marketing and economics and international business for more than 17 years here. Yes, I'm living and working away from home. It's about 100 kilometers away from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. Yes, regardless to the question, so teaching my students with different ways, yes, using songs, singing sometimes, yes, we are doing that. For me, right now, I'm not able to remember, but the song I really love is Take Me to Your Heart. Yes, that's very nice. Can I say some words about that? Yeah. So it's about like, take me to your heart, take me to the soul, give me your hand before I'm old. They say nothing lasts forever. We are here today. Love is now or never. Bring me far away. Take me to your heart. Take me to the soul. Give me your hand and hold me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Madam Timer, did all of our participants qualify time-wise?
Beautifully. They were really brilliant.
Anybody who have the mind to can look at the agenda and see that we are right on time. So kudos to that Toastmaster for keeping things moving along, even though it's me. Madam Grammarian, did everyone use the word of the day?
I never heard it. I'm sorry, I tried very hard. I don't think anyone, even a musician, didn't use it, because he's not easily harmonious. So it didn't come out in his ear to need to say it. So,
Okay, so the conclusion that we can draw is that everyone needs a little help in speaking off the cuff, or
yes,
what we call thinking on our feet. Because when you are called to speak randomly, you also have to think not only about the answer to the question, but if there's any requirements to add into the question. Moving right along with our meeting, now we get to the evaluative phase of a Toastmasters meeting. And in the evaluative phase, we get to see whether the people who gave prepared speeches actually attained the objective that they had. And moderating that part of the evaluative phase is someone we call the general evaluator. And to tell us about what the general evaluator does and to do what the general evaluator does, help me welcome to the virtual lectern, Carolyn J. Douglas.
Thank you, Toastmaster Victor. I would like to now move into that place where we evaluate, did we do what we said we were going to do? So far, we've had 2 wonderful speeches, and for each speaker, there is an evaluator. I'd like to call on our first evaluator, Judith Ferber, to evaluate speech given by Toastmaster Cynthia Stott. Judith.
Yes, thank you, Madam General Evaluator, and especially Cynthia. Well, dear Cynthia, you started this with the PBS, so it's not a PBS, it is personal branding statement. And you told us about integrity, respect, excellence. You asked questions of people, what do you believe in? And write it in the chat. Now, I have some little thing about this speech, and I think that every time you ask people to write thing in a chat, it interrupts the whole flow of the speech, which it does, because then you don't know when you are going to answer them. When you read them, you speak and you read at the same time, so it's complicated. Now, what I would have liked to have the speech tell me is, what is actually personal branding statement? How do I write one? And how do I start my personal branding? So some of those things I would have liked to have answered. Now, I understand also that you have spoke about authenticity, excellence, and respect. And the main thing was that you mentioned this person who gave a TED talk, I believe. Now, it would have been nice if you talk a little bit more about this person who said, I believe, because most of us maybe have not heard about him or heard him speaking. And I would have certainly liked to know who he is. So the thing is that I think it's an important topic to talk about it, although this is not exactly what the assignment calls for. But in any case, I thought it was an interesting speech about personal branding. However, I would have liked to have a different structure to it. So then at the end, I would come away, oh, okay, I understand that personal branding has to do with the essence, who I am and what I stand for. So I think it's an interesting idea, but the structure needed a little bit more. So then at the end, we take something away, that how we do PBS and how to write a personal statement and what we should be doing. Thank you, anyway, for your speech, Cynthia.
Thank you so much, Judith, for that wonderful evaluation. And as always, there's something to learn. There is something for us to grow from and for something for us to admire. And that was demonstrated by both the speaker and the speech evaluator. Our second speaker, Jaya, will be evaluated by a guest evaluator. Rabia. So Rabia, will you please come forward to do the evaluation? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Jaya Jaggi, smile. What an amazing, inspiring speech you gave us today. And what a personal journey you told us about how you wanted to help those children and how you achieved it by kept on going and never giving up. It was an amazing, inspiring speech, and I'm sure most of us felt inspired by the work you are doing and the work you have done up till now. Your speech was amazing. You had amazing voice clarity, and your facial expression, we could clearly see them. I could even see your hand gesture whenever you wanted to make a point, you were using your hands. If you wanted to show something small, you were using your hands. And the tonal variety when you were talking about the children and your mother, the way you changed the tone. Sometimes you were high, sometimes you were low when you were talking. So that was amazing. I'm seeing the green signal. Is it too soon? Is it 2 minutes already? So for something which I felt could have made the speech better were pauses. I could not see, there should be some pauses in between the speeches, or when you are making a point, you could just have given a short pause and then continued your next point. And for me, the pace of your speech was a little fast. I thought you were like running throughout the speech because you had so much matter to tell us about. You had such an inspiring story was to tell us that you were just going through it. Your pace, I found, is too fast. And according to the evaluation sheet, one of the purpose that you have to meet was the member appears to be talking at the audience instead of interacting with them. So he or she is not fulfilling the goal of the speech. And that is what you were doing. You were talking at us and you were not interacting with us. So this point of your project is, which I thought was missing, because you were just telling us about yourself and it was not an interactive session. You didn't inspire us. You had amazing voice clarity and facial expressions and hand gestures, and just few things which could take it to another level were pauses and a little bit slower pace, and the talking at the audience part. You should have been interacting with us. Thank you so much. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Rabia, for your evaluation. And I would also like to contribute that when we have reached a level of awareness about how to give our speeches, it is fair game for an evaluation to be given that causes you to say, reach for a higher level, because we're talking about continuous improvement. And I find that to be present in both of the speech evaluators' report to the speaker. So thank you so much for those evaluations. Now I would like to call on the functionaries. Sally Reyes is our grammarian for the day. Sally, will you give us your report?
Well, except for Cynthia, I caught some ahs and ohs from Cynthia's speech, but the rest I didn't catch any errors at all. This is a new one on me, but you guys did really well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our second functionary is the timer. Kathleen, will you give us the timer's report?
Everyone did beautifully. Everyone not only didn't go a little over time, didn't go a little under time, but they went almost to the time. And in that time, they delivered meaningful, interesting, useful messages. So I was very impressed.
Thank you so much for the report. I want to ask everyone to do a favor. Unmute yourself. Say the word harmony
Harmony.
Harmony, harmony.
Harmony.
I can honestly say that I heard the word of the day many times. So here is my report for how well we've done with the meeting. We actually started slightly later than we normally start. It's very important for us as Toastmasters to practice what we preach. We preach and teach start and end meetings on time. So we were very near the start point for getting the meeting started. And that's okay, just to be slightly off, but we want to continue to improve to make sure we start on time so that we end on time. I'm very appreciative of how well our Toastmaster jumped right in and moved us along through the process. It has been very well done, very well facilitated, very well moderated. So we stand in appreciation of our Toastmaster for that. The things that we have also been able to do is pivot. We noticed that our scheduled evaluators were not here. We have master Toastmasters in the room who know how to rise to the occasion and made themselves available to be speech evaluators, such that we were able to continue to move forward with our meeting in the fashion that we are accustomed to doing. One of the things I believe that could help us to make sure that those who are on schedule know that they're on schedule is just to go back, earlier in the day to make sure they are reminded or remember that they're on the program for the evening so that they are here. But I do want to stand in appreciation of our VPE as well as all of those that work with the VPE to make sure that we have a wonderful program schedule, because look at everyone that's here. We were able to have a really great meeting. And I want to once again thank everybody for the participation, including our impromptu speakers. That was very wonderful. This was a good meeting that had music, that had song, music, the blessing to the soul. Well, I think as the general evaluator, I've already exceeded my time, and because I love music, I could go on and on. So I want to turn the meeting right back over to our Toastmaster. Thank you everyone for being here this evening. Victor.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you do a general evaluation. That was stellar. That was marvelous. And it's not just because it was Carolyn, but let that be a benchmark for how all of us perform our functions and the leaders worldwide, because after all, we are all leaders. If someone was to take a look at our meeting and they made a call or they made an assessment of the meeting based on how you performed your function, you want them to go, wow, what a great meeting. And you don't want them to do it perfunctorily. You want them to mean it from the heart. So pay close attention to Carolyn Douglas. Remember her. We're going to upload this. This is going to be on our YouTube channel. Watch it over and over again, because truly, she did a wonderful job. She called it. She called where there was needed to be improvement, and there weren't that many. And she also gave credit where credit was due. Now, at the beginning of this meeting, I told you how some people need timing constraints because they'll just keep talking if nobody tells them it's time to shut up. Remember I told you about those people?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there's any in this meeting, but I believe according to the agenda, I think we're right on time, because right now it is time to turn over the virtual lectern, or shall we say, pass the virtual lectern to our indefatigable Vice President of Education, none other than my friend and yours, Mrs. Kathleen Peel. Let's give it up for her too. Let's give her some love so she'll be glad to come on here and start talking. Mrs. Peel, it's your turn.
Red.
I just want to thank people in the club who have been really stepping up and going to the trouble of using our club website, EasySpeak, to get on that communication page, the agenda, and responding to the emails, filling in their speech information, saying that they will come to the meeting. On the left side of the page, there's a I will be in attendance part. And then on the right side of that meeting page is where you will see the meeting agenda, and that's where you accept the role or decline a role. You're doing marvelously. Keep it up. Keep coming. Keep going. That's really all I have, except to say that we are going to have an unusual festive version of a Toastmasters meeting this coming week in the earlier time slot, and I would love to see our guests. It's going to be about sharing the different cultural traditions or family traditions or one's own experience of light, especially in the dark time of the year. We are in the northern hemisphere, and so there are many cultural celebrations of light in the dark time of the year. With that, oh good, I hope you will come, Rabia. I so thank you for your spirit. And with that, I would like to turn it over to the president for speech back. For takeaways.
Takeaways and chocolates, our favorite part. Great. Well, I love that. And I think that's the only announcement we have, is that our last meeting of the year is next week, December 13th at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific San Francisco time. So I hope that you can come, and you'll get some information about that in an email next week. And then we're closed for 2 weeks. We take the holidays off at the end of the year. We're silent, and then we come back fresh and anew in January. Great. So I would like to call on some of our guests. Kamal, how was your experience? I think this is your first Toastmasters experience, and you did a fabulous job with table topics. How did you feel about that?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling very great. Actually, this is my first meeting with all the native speakers, and I'm a little bit feeling fear also because how can I say? Actually, this is very new for me because I never joined too much this kind of meeting. But it's really great to see all the people from different countries and also different level of how can I say, the different people. So really it's feeling good, and especially it will be a great way to learn your styles, your country's styles, way of speaking. It will be a great way to present this kind of meeting. So I'm really to join this, and thank you, Cynthia. Thank you very much. You are my very good. How can I say? You are the reason actually I joined two things. One is Clubhouse. I never had any idea before about the Clubhouse, but it was really nice to know about people's more and more, especially the native speakers in English. And also this platform is also very great to know because all are so friendly, and also it's a great platform to show about our hobbies, our passions. Like one from the maybe India, and he has a very good voice and English pronunciation and like a British accent. So it was really great to know him and about his song, and his song also very great. And another one also from India, the I forgot her name, and she is doing a great activities, voluntary organization. Actually, this kind of activity will inspire us to do something for the humanity, because humanity is a great. So I'm really grateful. So it's all about.
Awesome, Kamal. I'm so glad you came tonight. You had such a wonderful experience, and we hope to have you back again soon.
Oh, okay.
Great. And we have a tradition here. We flow virtual chocolates. We used to, when we met in person, give real chocolates, but would you like a virtual chocolate? There's no sugar, no calories, just enjoyment.
That's good. That's good.
Are you ready to catch?
Yes, of course.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, woo! There's your virtual chocolate.
Okay, okay, I got it. Yeah.
Thank you. And I see our grammarian Sally Reyes waving her hand. She wants to share.
Oh, I
Okay.
was just saying, great for you to be here, and we enjoyed your visit, and please come back.
Great. And how was your experience? What are your takeaways?
Well, I saw that we had some problems in ahead of time, and we actually planned and said, can you hang in there if someone can't come? And I said, yes, sure. So it was quite easy to take over and be a little prepared, awake to things as they were going on, because there wasn't any bump in the road. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was hard to find something wrong with it. But that's the point of my
Great.
job.
Great. And would you like a chocolate?
Oh, yes. Almonds and chocolate, please.
Oh, that's a PMS cure for sure. 1, 2, 3. Woo!
Thank you. My dessert.
Thank you. And our guest, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but you entered it in the chat there. Would you like to open your mic and share your experience?
Okay, why not? Yuri.